What's up, everybody? It's me, Joe Pisapia, back with another video here at Fantasy Pros, and today we're going to do a fun exercise. We're going to go through my targets in every single round of the draft. Don't worry, it's not going to take too long, but these are the guys that if I had my druthers and I would draft all these guys in these rounds, and I know that's a perfect world I'm describing that doesn't really exist, but I'm going to do my best to live in it anyway. It's called fantasy football after all, isn't it? So before we get to the names on the list, I just want to remind you, we're giving away free stuff here. I know you love free stuff, so before I get to that list of players, if you want a chance to win a signed Kenneth Walker Seattle Seahawks jersey, courtesy of our Betting Pros channel, bettingpros.com, bet smarter, not harder, you need to subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now, comment below in this video, and that's it. That's all you got to do. We'll be announcing the winner right here on our channel, so make sure you turn on those notifications, click that little bell till it goes ding, so you know every time a new episode is up, and you can claim your prize. Pretty spectacular. Now, I also understand it's July when I'm recording this, and some ADPs might fluctuate. I get that, but I did my best to make sure the names later on in this draft are still going to be available in yours come hopefully August and September. So, without further ado, enough ado, let's get to the round-by-round draft here of the guys that I want to target this year in fantasy football in 2023. Let's kick things off with round one. My target is Ja'Marr Chase, wide receiver of the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to keep this simple because I've got other videos where I express my love for Ja'Marr Chase, but it's basically this. The offensive line is improved again year over year. The defensive backfield has not improved. In fact, they lost two key pieces back there. I think the Cincinnati Bengals could find themselves in some shootouts, and if we're protecting Joe Burrow better, that means we could be headed for a historic season for Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Burrow, and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I want that season on my fantasy team. Round two, the pick is in, and you know me, I'm the president of the Chubb Club. Nick Chubb is the pick, running back from the Cleveland Browns. Last year, coming off a season with 300 carries and 1,500 yards, you can make the argument that maybe they're going to throw the ball more. I'm going to make the argument there's really nobody else in this backfield besides Nick Chubb worthy of a large amount of carries, and therefore, it's going to be all Chubb all day long. And when you look at his body of work the last 4 years, he has finished no worse than RB10, and he's playing with the best quarterback, arguably, theoretically, that he's ever played with, which means he could have a new high in touchdowns. Last year, he had a new career high, which was 13. He could even eclipse that mark in 2023. Therefore, I want Nick Chubb, my hero RB, on my roster. There goes my hero. Watch him as he scores. Round three, we're going back to the wide receiver well, and the name is Chris Olave, wide receiver from the New Orleans Saints. Now, I like to build my teams early and often with wide receivers because, frankly, that's where the NFL is. This is a guy who had 25% of the target share last year, and now he's got a massive improvement at quarterback. I don't care what you think about Derek Carr and all of his shortcomings. We all know he's a huge improvement over what they've had the last few years. And we're talking about a guy coming off a rookie season where he caught 72 balls for over 1,000 yards. He had just 4 touchdowns. That's not going to be the case this year. If he doubles that mark, and I think he can in 2023, Chris Olave is going to be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. And now I've got an incredible duo of Chase and Chris Olave leading my squad here at the wide receiver position. 2 potential number 1s on 1 fantasy team. Let's go, baby. Round 4, I'm going to take a shot here and see if Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie running back from the Detroit Lions, ends up being all he's cracked up to be. This kid had an incredible career at Alabama. He is smooth as far as route running. He's got good hands, and he is ready to step into a huge workload potentially for the Detroit Lions in that passing game. Why? Because Jameson Williams is going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season. Marvin Jones is 100 years old. I don't care what anybody's telling me. Jahmyr Gibbs is ready to go straight into the NFL and be productive. Now, will he possibly miss out on some touchdowns? Yeah, probably. We know David Montgomery is now in town, and he's going to be the early down grinder and the guy at the goal line. But Jahmyr Gibbs is the playmaker, and if he gets 60 yards and 6 catches every day and has a few touchdowns sprinkled in throughout the season, he is going to be a fantastic RB2, especially in PPR formats. So give me Jahmyr Gibbs and get out of my way. It's round 5, so give me Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver of the Denver Broncos. I know the Denver Broncos were atrociously all-time bad last year as an offense, but Sean Payton is one of the great offensive minds in the NFL, and I don't think it's going to take a whole lot, basically just a little preparedness and maybe a game plan or two to turn this offense around. And Jerry Jeudy, to me, after 100 targets last year, is the guy to target. This would also give me potentially not one, not two, but 3 wide receiver ones. And hear me out. If Jerry Jeudy can improve year over year in terms of that reception rate and improve on those 6 touchdowns, there's every reason to believe that he's going to eclipse 1,000 yards. And when he does, that's going to put him right around the bubble, maybe wide receiver 14, 15, and maybe room for more if things really break right. But even if they don't, I believe Jerry Jeudy is a guy you can draft here as a wide receiver 3, and he's going to perform as a wide receiver 2. And whenever you can do that, that's a great thing for your fantasy roster because you got guys on your team outperforming their ADP, and that's what drafts are all about. Round 6, when it comes to the flex spot, I like a little bit of boom, and Tyler Lockett brings that wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, I understand Jackson Smith-Njigba is in town, but he is a rookie, and he is still the 3rd guy. Tyler Lockett is in a contract year, so Seattle is going to burn and churn him. And we all know that Tyler Lockett last year against zone coverage was the man. He had 9 touchdowns. He finished as wide receiver 13 on the year. And that means there's a good chance he could probably, at the very least, give me wide receiver 2 low-end value. And that's a great thing for my flex spot or to put in to those wide receiver 1, 2, 3 spots on the bye weeks. Tyler Lockett gives me all of that flexibility. He also gives me a proven veteran wide receiver with a quarterback and an offense that he's familiar with already. So Tyler Lockett is an easy sell for me and pretty much a value. I love him as a flex, so if he's there on the board and ADP right now says he will be this round, I'm snatching him up. It's round 7, so let's take some calculated risks and let's take one at the tight end position, Darren Waller of the now New York Giants. Now, I get it. He hasn't been on the field the last few years that much, but there are a ton of targets available in this Giants offense and a bunch of wide receivers that just kind of fall into a clump together. So if Darren Waller can get anything close to old form of that 90 catch guy with 1,000 yards, there's a chance Darren Waller could be a league winner. But if he's not, tight end is something that I can chase on the waiver wire, find some guys and patch it together. So again, this is boom bust, risk reward. But the upside here for Darren Waller at this specific position, at this specific round, makes enough sense for me, so let's do it. It's round 8 right now, and there's a quarterback value on the board that I really like, that I think is very underrated, and it's Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. No, he is not the sexiest pick, but I'll say this about Kirk Cousins. He's coming off a season of 4,500 passing yards with 29 touchdowns, and you know what? Now that you got a full season of TJ Hawkinson there, you also get Jordan Addison replacing Adam Thielen, who looked old and done last year. KJ Osborne's around. Alexander Madison's in the backfield. There's every reason to believe that Kirk Cousins in this offense could basically repeat his 2022 season. That 2022 season was the QB 9 in fantasy. So I will take that value here this late in the draft and I'll roll with it and maybe sprinkle in some upside at quarterback as the draft goes on. That's a tease. We'll get to that other player in a while. It's round 9, so let's get back to some wide receivers, and let's go with Quentin Johnston, rookie for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Quentin Johnston had a brilliant season at TCU last year and got them all the way to the national championship, but he basically profiles as a better, younger version of Mike Williams, who fits directly into this offense. And we all know that Mike Williams struggles sometimes to stay on the football field. That means that Quentin Johnston is going to get opportunities early and often in this offense that wants to throw the football. That's a good thing for his fantasy value, especially this late. He's an unknown quantity to most of the casual fans in your league, but not to the fantasy pros, so draft him right now in round 9. Which brings me to the next wide receiver on my list I want to draft in round 10, Elijah Moore of the Cleveland Browns. Elijah Moore last year was the hot buzzy name, and then, well, the Jets quarterback situation unfolded and he basically became persona non grata. Now he's persona who is playing for the Cleveland Browns after a trade, and he's going to be used in the slot, maybe on the outside, and even potentially in the backfield at certain times too. So Elijah Moore is going to get the football in his hands, and this guy is an extraordinary playmaker. He is playing with the best quarterback he's ever played with in Deshaun Watson, in theory, on paper. But he has got an enormous opportunity here to return his value at this draft spot. I want to take a shot on Elijah Moore. If it doesn't work out and David Njoku's the guy or Donovan Peoples-Jones is the other go-to target in this offense, fine, I'll take the L. I just don't think it's going to work out that way, and Elijah Moore's got too much talent to be held down, so give me Moore in the 10th and let's go. Let's have some fun in round 11 with Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts. I understand that he may not start the year. We know that that is a possibility, but I want this guy on my roster, and here's why. There's an opportunity he could go on a run the way Justin Fields did last year and basically wreck fantasy, and you want that kind of upside on my team. If he doesn't start right away, if he struggles mightily to pick up NFL defenses and make adjustments to the NFL level with some of his granted inexperience from the college level, then it's not a big deal because I've already got Kirk Cousins. But the upside of Anthony Richardson is something that I desperately want on my teams, so I am going to draft him here in this round and see if he could potentially be a league winner. Round 12, let's get some running back depth here. And yeah, I waited a long time, but I think Damian Harris of the Buffalo Bills can be that guy. The Bills have been looking for a 3-down back for a while, and Damian Harris can do all those things. Sure, James Cook is still around, but he only showed you some small spurts of being useful. Damian Harris could be the guy at the goal line who could also save some wear and tear on Josh Allen, and I think that could be a good thing at this stage in Allen's career. They went after him hard. They coveted Damian Harris. They got Damian Harris. I think they're going to use Damian Harris, so he is a perfect backup running back for me. You know, I like to play those wide receivers in the flex spot, maximize those PPR points, but Damian Harris is a perfectly good, solid running back, I think, to fill that other spot and give me some depth at the position, so put him on my roster. And let's go for another running back while we're at it, back-to-back here in round 13, Roschon Johnson of the Chicago Bears. Another rookie. No, I'm not building a dynasty team, but when it comes to running backs, I would like some youth on my side, and Roschon Johnson is a guy who played at Texas last year, and had Bijan Robinson not been in front of him, we'd all be talking a whole lot more about Roschon Johnson. Roschon has the opportunity over the first few weeks of the season, maybe into the second half, to start to eclipse Khalil Herbert and Deontay Foreman ahead of him. And once again, if that does not happen and those two guys are great, it's not going to cost me anything to find out. But I'm going to be betting on this kid and watching very closely as the second half unfolds, because I might have a potential RB2 on my hands if everything breaks right, or goodness gracious, God forbid, an injury happens to the guys ahead of him. If Roschon gets the opportunity, Roschon's going to make the most of it, and this is a guy that this regime is picking, so always pay close attention to that draft capital. So give me Roschon on my roster in round 13. Round 14, let's go with Rashee Rice, wide receiver of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know what you're going to say, Joe, another rookie wide receiver, and I'm going to say, yes, another rookie wide receiver, because we've learned the last few years, rookie wide receivers can make enormous impacts in redraft leagues, and every single season for the last 5 seasons, we've had just that. Rashee Rice could be the next one in that group. I'm going to let Sky Moore go in this draft. I'm going to let Kadarius Toney go because he's never healthy. He is never on the field, and he has some other questionable issues that I don't want to deal with on my fantasy team. And really, I want to take some shots at this wide receiver core of the Kansas City Chiefs. Justin Ross is intriguing, but I think he might be more of a waiver wire pickup. But right now, Rashee Rice is the guy that I have my sights set on because he's been working out with Patrick Mahomes all offseason, and Mahomes has said some glowing things about him. Always listen to the quarterbacks. When they say nice things about the new wide receivers, that means they're comfortable with the talent. And I think we've been waiting for somebody to fill this void of a go-to guy that isn't named Travis Kelce in this offense. It's all upside with Rice. If things don't work out, I can always cut him and go right to the waiver wire for somebody else. Heck, even Justin Ross, who I mentioned before, if he ends up being that dude. But instead, Rice is the guy I'm going to take a shot on in round 14. Round 15, give me the Dallas Cowboys defense. And you know, this is an easy one here because they're going to get to the quarterback. I think Micah Parsons is basically poised to be Defensive Player of the Year. And you want these offenses that create turnovers. This is one of them. The Cowboys get after the quarterback. When you put pressure on the quarterback, that leads to turnovers and interceptions, and that leads to fantasy points. It's a really easy bit of math. I told you there would be no math, so don't worry, there won't be in this video. But Dallas is the defense that I'm looking for here. I think they're a good value in round 15, so let's put them on the board, yes. And last but not least, it's time to take a kicker. Give me Justin Tucker, who right now is not going as the first kicker off the board in a lot of drafts I've been in, and he is basically the most reliable guy out there in an offense that could be much better this year if everyone stays healthy in Baltimore. So give me Justin Tucker, and I will take him if you make me take a kicker, which I wish you wouldn't, but most leagues still do, so I guess I will. There you have it. Well, there you have it. Those are the names that I'm going to target in every single round if I can, if I will get my way. And as a dad of 2 daughters, I can tell you it doesn't happen all that often. However, if we take a look at this team, this roster looks pretty good. We've got Cousins at quarterback. We've got the RBs starting Nick Chubb, the touchdown machine this year, and Jahmyr Gibbs. We've got a wide receiver core of Jamar Chase, Chris Olave, and Jerry Jeudy. That's pretty darn good. 3 possible number ones, at least number ones on their own team. That's the way you want to start this year in 2023. Flex, a little bit of boom bust with Tyler Lockett. I like that in my flex spot. Tight end is Darren Waller. Yes, could be volatile, could be great, could be not so great, but tight end is a way we can go hit the waiver wire and figure things out potentially later on. We got the Dallas defense. We got Justin Tucker as a kicker. And look at this bench here. It's a pretty good group. We've got Quentin Johnston. We've got Richardson, the new quarterback, the fresh young man over there in Indianapolis. We're all excited about. We'll see if he can get it going quicker. And Elijah Moore, Damian Harris, Roshan Johnson, and Rashee Rice. So these are the names that I'm trying to target in some of the rounds, but I want to hear from you too. So drop a comment below and don't forget to subscribe to Fantasy Pros YouTube, because when you do, you just might win that Seattle Seahawks jersey from Kenneth Walker, again, courtesy of Betting Pros. While you're at it, don't forget to go subscribe to Betting Pros too on YouTube, so you can catch me, Joey P, talking NFL all season long. What a beautiful time to be alive. Don't forget to click that little bell till it goes ding, so you know every time a content piece drops here on the channel, all the pods, all the live streams, so many fun things. And if you need some updates on this, hit me up on our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. There you have it, folks. Again, drop your comments below. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great season. That'll do it for me, Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.